welcome you to this city council meeting this evening, and I see that we are running a few minutes behind, so I would like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And as we start every meeting with usually an invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance, I hate to pick on him his first night back in a while, but I'd like to ask Mr. Bill Matheny if he would mind leading us in our invocation, and I would like to ask Chief Armour if he wouldn't mind to lead us in the pledge following the invocation. Okay, thank you. Please stand.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we humbly bow with you, thankful, Lord, for the many blessings of another day of life, for all your love toward us, for everything that you do for us, hearing and answering prayers. We pray, Lord, you look down, help us, O Lord, to live our lives that it might be pleasing in your sight. We pray now for those that are sick, Lord, you touch them, heal them to be your will. We ask you to comfort them that's lost their loved ones, Lord, and be with them. Lord, you're the only one that can give them comfort this time. We pray to Heavenly Father to continue to bless this nation, Lord, that, Lord, we need help, Heavenly Father, from you. Lord, I pray to Heavenly Father for this meeting here tonight. Your blessing will be upon it, that everything be said and done according to your will. Lord, we'll not fail to bow our heads and give you the praise for everything. I bless it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. Ms. Flatt, would you please call the roll?
Honorable Mayor Fowler,
Present.
Honorable Vice Mayor Norris,
Present.
Honorable Councilman Bilbrey,
Present.
Honorable Councilwoman Hawkins,
Present.
Honorable Councilman Hill.
Present.
I'd ask that you look at the first item for consideration and the second. The first item is consider approval of the agenda as it's presented. I think that we've had a chance to look over that, and we will be making an addition after item 6, so it would be item 7. Mr. Morrison's going to speak to us more about that in just a little bit. But I would consider approval of the agenda as presented, as well as consider approval of the minutes of the council meeting held on December the 10th. If there are any changes, corrections, additions, deletions, if you'd let me know.
I make the motion to approve them.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the agenda as well as the minutes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. And it was seconded by Councilwoman Norris. So, Ms. Flatt, if we can take a vote on that, please.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Third item under new business, consider approval to suspend the reading of Ordinance 644-19 and Resolution 327-20, both of which are going to be discussed in greater detail. The ordinance 644-19 has to do with the changes that we had discussed regarding employee benefits and the accrual of their vacation leave, and or Resolution 327-20 is regarding bonds for the water sewer project. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we consider approval to suspend the reading of ordinance 644-19 and resolution 327-20, as we are about to discuss that in more detail.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Bilbrey, second. Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item 4, consider approval of resolution 327-20 regarding bonds for the water sewer project. Now, let's I guess I'll ask Mr. Morrison to look at that with us and explain in greater detail what the bond issue is regarding and for what purpose and the amount that we would be seeking.
This bond issue is for the water sewer project. The sewer project would be the extension of sewer to Old Walton Circle, Arbor Place, and Oak Haven, which were annexed into the city of Allgood with a plan of services. So this is the final extension of plan of services for those areas, as they already have been receiving police and fire service, as well as trash, brush, and other services of the city. So water and sewer would be the final service to deliver to those areas. This also includes a water line project, which will start out here in front of City Hall. It will go down Main Street to Mirandy Road. It will be the final connector, as well as a replacement for the line that goes down the old part of Main Street. This will tie the system together completely, all the way out to Mirandy Road and out to the Shenandoah Tank, as well as add additional fire service protection downtown with additional hydrants and things of that nature, which is a much needed upgrade, as well as the deterioration of the water line that's in the ground currently. This is a 40-year bond. It is for a total of $1.89 million. It is about a $2.1 million project, so the city will be putting up $200,000 to get this project off the ground. It's been in the works for several years. This is the initial bond resolution, so if the citizens of Allgood wish to not issue these bonds, or the city not to pursue this project, they can come in and fill out the appropriate paperwork, and it will be advertised in the paper. After 20 days, if there's no objection from the citizens of Allgood, then we would pass the final bond resolution, and that would allow us to move forward with this project. We have, through our engineer at Haley, submitted all the proper documentation to USDA, and I do believe we have final approval on all of the plans and specifications that have been submitted, and we are working on finalizing paper with our bond counsel, and this was one of the things that had to be done, as well as advertising it in the paper. So this is the first resolution with the initial. After this passes in 20 days with no objection from the citizens of Allgood, we will pass the second resolution and be ready to move forward this spring with bidding the project.
How did you come to the number? This was just the engineers have come to this number as being what we're going to need.
This is the engineering number
This is
for
not
the
to
design. It will still have to go to competitive bid, so if construction comes in and we're not happy with it, we still have the option to try to work that out, negotiate it, and figure out what's wrong with it. There is some contingency in there, and design fees and inspection fees, but all of that will be bid out and go through competitive bid process even once this is done. So these are just early numbers that this is what we estimate the project. We would hope that it would come in for less than that and never exceed that amount, although unforeseen circumstances can happen. We would hope that would not happen.
In a perfect world, when does this project start? If we do this tonight, we approve it tonight, and then no issues published, when does the actual project get started? When can these bonds be issued, and then when can the project
By the end of February, I think we could be out to bid, assuming final resolution passes and everything's good. I would think by April we should be able to approve a construction company and move forward with it. Is that too aggressive? Okay.
And then final completion, I mean, is this a year project?
About 4 to 5 months.
Is it 4 to 5 or 6 to 9?
I think it's 4 to 5.
Okay,
So under a year.
under a
Still
year.
good.
It's definitely under a year.
Okay, very good. And your guesstimate as to a rate, it says not to exceed 5, but that seems, for USDA, that would
I
probably.
think it would be less than 5.
Be well less than 5.
Yeah.
Well said.
When spoke with bond counsel, he felt the rate that they were early on at the moment we were working on paperwork was probably unbeatable and
Sure.
pretty exceptional rate because it is a USDA rural development loan,
Good
and
rate.
so it's a very good rate.
Absolutely. All I got.
This has been something that we've been working on for quite a while. I know the old Walton Circle, I believe, was annexed back in early 2000s, I think, because they actually came with a petition to be annexed. And so I happened to be on the council at that time, so I think that would be like
Prior to
2000.
2006, I think.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been right at the
It's
10-year
been a
mark
while.
when the project
It-
when we started engineering and phasing and trying to get all this rolling. So we're pushing.
So I'm glad to see that we are getting around to that, and you know I get questions quite often about when are we going to complete this plan of services, and so I'm glad that we're on track with that, and it would be terrific to get it finished
Mhm.
within the this calendar year if possible. So do I hear a motion to consider approval of this resolution 327-20 regarding bonds for the water sewer project?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Flatt, if you'll call the roll.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Hopefully there won't be any naysayers. So, but as it was explained, there is a procedure for doing that, and within 20 days we should know if there are any exceptions to that. Now, consider item number 5. We have ordinance number 64419. That is what I previously referred to as the change we're making, or we have proposed to make as to the employees and their years of service versus how they accumulate vacation time. It was passed on first reading December the 10th, and now the floor will be opened for the public comment section on this ordinance. And if anyone has any comments, questions, I will now officially open the floor for that regarding the amendment to the employee handbook regarding vacation leave. Not having any comments, I will close the public hearing session, and we will proceed to consider approval on second and final reading for this ordinance amending the handbook regarding vacation leave. Is there a motion to approve this on second and final reading?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Flatt, let's call the roll.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 6. Consider approval to declare as surplus a 2014 Dodge Charger, Unit 9141. imagine. Do you want to speak to that? Or
You
do
want me to
the
take it,
chief
Chief? Unit 9441 is the last unit we'll sell for this year. Unit 9141 is experiencing a lifter issue. We had it checked out. This is the third unit that has had lifter issues. One has already had an engine replacement with a copay from Dodge from us of $1,500. They covered the rest of the $8,500 plus dollars to replace the engine under the warranty. The second one is down there now being evaluated. They think it's just a lifter issue and it's not down into the engine, so it shouldn't be as bad. This one was having lifter noises, and we did not pursue it any further. Once we determined that issue was there, we knew it was going to be surplus anyway, so at that point we decided to cut our loss and sell this unit off, and we will be reviewing this plan this year as we start the new budget process to evaluate if we are still in the appropriate path or if we need to make necessary changes to address these issues. So we're just asking to surplus this, and we're probably going to strip it down and sell it general public and get as much out of it as we can.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second to Ms. Norris's motion to declare this as surplus, the Unit 9141?
I'll second.
Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilberry,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Now, as we mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, we're going to add an additional item number 7, and this would be, and I will ask Mr. Morrison to give us more detail, but would basically entertain or consider a motion to extend the right-of-way on Big Mac Drive in exchange for property from the existing property owner. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Big Mac Drive currently ends at the end of Zagsby. The property owner, we have met with him. He has agreed that in exchange for the property to continue Big Mac Drive to the Walmart parking lot, that if we will bring it up to street standard at our cost, if he would not bear any cost, and if we would extend his water and sewer line no more than 150 feet to his additional vacant properties, that he would give us the property to continue back Big Mac Drive into the Walmart parking lot. So this would give us the right-of-way plus the street if we would bring it up to standard and finish it out to connect Big Mac Drive to Walmart and hopefully alleviate some traffic issues at the intersection.
I know that we've had a chance to review it and look at it, and I know I personally didn't see any drawbacks to it. In fact, saw lots of advantages. Do you all have, as a council, any questions or need any further detail?
I think it's a win-win for all of us.
Yes, sir.
So let me just make sure I understand. So the cost associated with bringing sewer and water, the additional 150 feet, that's going to be his responsibility, or typically would be the landowner's responsibility. So what we're trading off here is we're saying we will provide that and finish out the roadway all the way to Walmart, and in return, we get that property.
Right.
The property required for the roadway.
In exchange for the property, we're extending those water and sewer services. I'm gonna assume it's less than 150 feet. Is that probably right, Victor? Sewer's probably not gonna be more than 85 feet. Water may already be extended far enough. And so there may be nothing on the water, but in exchange for any extensions on those two services related to the road, we get the property with the allowance to connect it to Walmart, finish Big Mac Drive out, and we'll bring the street up to our standard, stripe it, and allow that entrance to be gained to the Walmart parking lot. The gain for this is folks who enter Big Mac Drive to go to McDonald's, Taco Bell, Zaxby's, or Speedway. If they can't get out and make that left-hand turn during the busy times of the intersection on Main Street, they could turn and go back into Walmart, go around through the Walmart parking lot, and come out at the red light at Walmart and Main Street. If they want to go left, or if they want to go across to Cooper, This would alleviate hopefully some of our traffic concerns, as well as any traffic from Overton County, Livingston that went to Walmart. They could avoid the light and go out to Big Mac Drive, make an immediate right, and get on 111, and maybe alleviate some traffic at the red light as well.
I assume no objection. I mean, have you reviewed this with our folks at Walmart and any of the other stores?
I've started
It might be
conversations with
premature.
Walmart. I had talked to them a year ago if this would be an acceptable thing for them. The local Walmart leadership felt like it was a good thing, didn't see any issues with it, didn't think there would be any problems. They were going to go ahead and send it to corporate, make sure we just had final approval, but we feel like that's a win-win for them as well, and that they would be happy with this. When Walmart originally came, they wanted 2 entrances. This was one of the proposed entrances. The property owners at the time couldn't work out an appropriate deal. Patiently, we've waited, and now we've worked out an appropriate deal, and we think Walmart will be happy with that.
And I can't imagine the other restaurants would have any issues with that either. Seems
I
like
think
it'd be
I think it's for win-win for
It's a
everybody.
win-win.
Mm.
I can't think of anything.
I would go ahead then and entertain a motion to extend the right-of-way on Big Mac Drive in exchange for the property from the current property owner.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a tie. Ms. Hawkins, that go to you?
Yeah.
All right. Now, Ms. Flatt, if we could vote.
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Now we have reports from our department heads, from Mr. Morrison first, and then any of our department heads.
The park master plan is over to my left, your right. That is the master plan for the 21-acre park. It has been divided off in phases. Those phases aren't currently shown on that. That's just the overall master plan. The overall completed project is estimated to be around $12 million. We do hope to leverage grants and other resources of funding throughout the project to lower the city's cost. And certainly this will not be all done at once. It will take some time, so this is kind of a long-range plan. And this is not necessarily engineering. This is just kind of a, here's where things fit, here how we think this looks. An overall conceptual design that can be modified as we move through, but gives us kind of a map of how we want to get there and what we think this thing looks like when we're done. As we proceed through it and begin engineering, there may be changes or things that we see that we didn't see before that may have to be modified, but we feel this is a good overall picture of what the park looks like. Phase 1 would initially come in off of Main Street and include a parking lot, a restroom, a playground, and a walking track around the majority of the track closest to Main Street. And we'd be glad to share that with anyone that wants to see it. We're also going to put all of the documents online where everybody can see what we've come up with. We think this gives us an opportunity to leverage many grants. It gives us a good picture to show to the grant folks that this is what we want, this is what we've developed, and here's how we think we get here. And we think this gives us a big leg up on grant work. So we think this is a very doable project. We feel like this is a good balance of what the council and the public has asked for, and we think this will fit the community's needs for many years to come. So we think this is a very good overall project and a very well designed, in cooperation with Clinton Engineering and GRW, who came up with this, as well as State of Tennessee Health Department for their Healthy Initiatives grant that has paid completely for this master plan. So to this point, we have not been out anything for the master plan. It's completely paid for by grant, and we hope to continue that as we continue through the building process of that we can leverage as many grants as possible and minimize city funds to accomplish this. But we're going to have this out to share. It'll be in the lobby anytime anybody would like to come in and see it, as well as some documentation online for review, or if anybody wants to come in and talk, we'd love to sit down and talk to you and share ideas. And as we move through this project with the community, there may be things that the community comes up with that we look at down the road that we feel give us a different picture. And so this continues to be an evolving project, but this is where we're at to date. And we feel like this is a good starting point for grant work. So we feel like we've got a good starting point here. Chief and Victor, anything?
I've got babies, flu, and medical readjusting shifts right now, trying to cover my coverage. We've got several officers out for those issues. If I could brag on Victor just for a moment, thanks to y'all's help, we have started the oil changes down at the city garage now. We're keeping them in-house, buying bulk oil, and we're working on the bugs, and Victor has been very good with us to help us make that happen. And we're hopefully by the end of the budget year, we'll be able to show you what type of money we're going to be able to save on by doing that.
I'd like to commend these gentlemen for a lot of hard work, and also Ann today with help of Public Works. If you haven't been downstairs and looked at the records room, she's brought the records a long ways and does a very good job. So I'd like to give her a little bit of a pat on the back for all the work she's done today. It looks really good.
I'm just in shock. That's the first time I've heard compliments regarding those three. Well, I mean, no, it is. It's a fantastic job, and I saw it just a little while ago, Miss Ann. So thank you to all of you all. And I had been meaning to inquire about Officer Neff, the Officer of the Year, if she is home. And okay.
She'll be back around the 1st of March.
Okay. Well, I hadn't heard that if everything went fine and mother and baby are okay. That's terrific. And I would point out regarding the park, I have seen there on Main Street, there is a sign. It's double-sided. It's up if you want to pull off there. I think you probably could if you don't have access to see this one online or to see one down in the lobby. There is a sign there now that shows the layout, the potential layout, what we've configured so far. And I invite everyone that they have an opportunity to stop and look at it. And if you see somewhere we can improve or make a suggestion, like Keith said, we'd be glad to talk to you about that. Now, regarding at this point in our meeting, we have a time allotted for hearing of citizens and or delegations, and I see a young gentleman that I thought he was about to approach the podium. So if anybody has anything that we need to know about, please make yourself come forward and just give us your name and tell us what's going on.
Okay, my name is Richard Wood. I think most of you know me from the council. One of the things that I noticed, and this is just more to educate me, okay? I see that on the 1.89 million guesstimated bond issue, it'll be a 40-year bond issue. Do we have, or will we have the right as a city to be able to, at any point along the way, to call those bonds in? Because I know that Cookville has a problem. They've got bonds that they let way out back when, and the rates have gotten, at one point, very good for them to be able to buy the bonds. However, the people that issued the bonds, they weren't callable. So I'm just wondering if we're gonna make sure that we have, that covered, to protect us as citizens.
I think at any time we can pull these in if we need to and reissue or rework or redo whatever we need to. So I think that is an option if we choose to exercise it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that was covered. Other than that, I support you guys doing this sewer and water project. I really do, because I think it needs to be upgraded here in the city. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. We always appreciate your input. Do we have anyone else that has a question? All right. I'd like to ask Mr. Morrison if he would to make a introduction to us, as she will be with us for a while. We'd like to ask him at this point if he will introduce our new librarian.
Ms. Turner, would you like to stand up?
She probably wouldn't, but we would like to ask you to, Ms. Turner.
We appreciate you being here and appreciate all that the Putnam County Library offers to the citizens of Allgood. And as we move through to the new budget year, we hope to be able to extend those services and add on to what the library can offer. So we're very excited of what that holds for the future and proud that you can be a part of it. And thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you. I hope we'll stay around a little while and we can visit. Is there anything else from anyone? Not hearing anything, I would make a motion that we adjourn. Next meeting will be February, what day?
11th.
February 11th. We all in agreement to adjourn at this time. All right. We are adjourned.
Bill was getting ready to run.